What's up, Waves Capital? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Coinbase's freshly crushed earnings report that currently has the stock up more than 8% in after-hours trading. This price action is very likely to bleed into the sessions ahead of us, so we will, of course, be discussing technicals. I want to jump into the charts with you guys and talk to you about where I think Coinbase could potentially go over the coming weeks and maybe even into the summer months. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. Gonna keep it short and sweet for you. We will kick it off by discussing the specifics of this earnings report. So let's do that. But before we do, please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today. And let me know in the comments down below, were you invested in Coinbase? I know the past couple of weeks have not really met expectations for some of you, including myself. But if you stood strong, if you held your ground, if you held strong in your positioning, then you deserve the fruits of your labor and more mental fortitude. Okay. So again, talk to you guys in the comments down below. Let's get to reading. Coinbase Global gapped up 7.3% in extended trading. Of course, that has continued to climb in after hours, which you love to see. On Thursday, after the cryptocurrency exchange surpassed Wall Street earnings and revenue expectations for Q1, as expenses declined notably while revenue shot up during the quarter. Sentiment towards digital tokens soared in Q1 amid jitters surrounding the traditional banking sector, serving as a boon for coin. Again, love to see it. Looking at Q1 results, GAAP EPS, or earnings per share, of negative 34 cents versus average analyst estimates of negative $1.36. So that is a massive beat on EPS. And I think that is, of course, the primary reason or, attribute that has led to this amazing after hours price action, especially on a day where the markets were pretty shaky. Okay, so that's especially meaningful. All right, Q1 revenue, narrowed from negative $2.46 in the prior quarter and almost $2 from a year before. So again, very good progress in cutting losses, which, the closer you are to profitability, the better. And Coinbase in the past, obviously prior to 2022, has proven their competency and proven their ability to be very profitable. But again, crypto winners suck, bear markets suck. And it's good to see that they're successfully, slowly but surely climbing out of the pit that was 2022. So good on them. Q1 revenue, $772.5 mil, also topping the 653 mil consensus. Like that's blockbuster. That is blowing expectations out of the water. And again, I would be very surprised if this price action does not bleed into the sessions ahead of us. Obviously saying bleed in the best of ways, okay? Carry over. So dropped from 1.17 bill in the year earlier. Again, that's not surprising at all, but rose from, this is the important part, 630 mil in the quarter, ended December 31st. So we're on the track back up. As I said in my previous coin video that I posted a couple of weeks back now, this seemed obvious. Again, just looking at the crypto markets, looking at what Bitcoin's done, looking at what's, just altcoins as well have done, Ether, the rest, Render. Looking at the volumes on Bitcoin and altcoins, it was pretty clear that Coinbase was going to have a good quarter. And again, it's paid off. So transaction revenue climbed to $374.7 million from $322.1 million in Q4 of 2022 and plunged from $1 billion a year before. Again, no surprise there. Subscription revenue and services revenue of $361.7 million shot up from $282.8 in Q4 of 2022 and $151.9 million in Q1 of 2022. Total operating expenses were $896.4 million, fell from $1.18 billion in Q4 of 2022 and from $1.72 billion in Q1 of 2022. Lastly, adjusted EBITDA came in at $283.7 million compared with a loss. So bonus question, what does the EBITDA stand for? In the comments down below. Earnings before, then the rest. So little quiz for you. Not as if you have to answer, but if you do know, share it in the comments. Came in at $283.7 million, once again compared with a loss of $124.1 million in the previous quarter and a gain of $19.7 million in Q1 of last year. So This is very, very good. Again, they are becoming closer to true profitability. Again, they weren't quite profitable on an EPS basis, but adjusted EBITDA, you're above water, well above water. And again, never bet against a competent CEO. I can't remember if I shared that video with Brian Armstrong in the newsletter or in the previous video, but there is a great interview on cnbc.com with Brian Armstrong, and I highly recommend you guys check that out. That dude is such a good operator, and again, when a company has a great team and a great CEO behind it who really cares, and again, also the founder of the company, which makes him even more emotionally and intellectually invested in his company, again, it shows in the product, and they crushed earnings, and again, even bullish expectations, they blew out of the water. So good on them. Again, the stock currently up over 8% in after hours trading. That is definitely going to be looking good when it comes to the sessions ahead, especially considering, again, the past couple of weeks have been straight shit. But I'm excited to see what happens over the coming weeks. Before we dive into the charts and I justify those price targets for you guys, I want to read over the newsletter that I sent out this morning in the wake of this very, very sick earnings report. Blockbuster earnings report once again. Good on Coinbase. I'll read through this, just give you guys a few of my quick takes, and I also want to talk about why I think, or should I say, the other fundamental catalyst that just occurred. Hint, hint, biggest company in the world, beating earnings. That is even adds fuel to the fire for the bulls, I'll say. Okay, so let's read over this and then move into price targets. Coinbase. There we go. We got one, team. It was only a matter of time. And again, if you guys are already part of Waves Capital, if you guys are part of the portfolio group, this one felt especially good. Okay, so the numbers are in. Coinbase has smoked analyst estimates on both revenue and EPS. And once again, the stock is being appropriately rewarded. I actually don't want to discuss this because we'll just dive into the charts right after this. But again, to reiterate the fundamental catalyst that will lead us forward. I don't want to celebrate too soon, but I'm feeling pretty confident that we'll be closing out the week with a bang. May is about to start looking up for Waves Cap, and Big Red, it just added some fuel to the fire. When the king is healthy, the kingdom is happy. So Apple beating on earnings is great news for the macro bulls like myself. Yeah, you guys, Apple, $2 trillion plus market cap, largest company in the world, of course, because the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, the likes of the major equity indices, are market cap weighted. This is very, very meaningful because Apple, again, consumes a large part of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So Apple beat on earnings. The report looked great. I saw it. Expectations were pretty solid, surprisingly, for Apple, and they even exceeded some fairly optimistic expectations. So that's amazing to see. And again, when the king is healthy, the kingdom is happy. The same applies for Bitcoin. We're not taking a look at Bitcoin today, but if you guys do, as you can see here in this Price Targets newsletter, just today, which is pretty much every day, we covered all of these names, a few names that I'm very excited about moving forward, and earnings on the horizon. If you guys want daily updates, on names like Bitcoin, Riot Blockchain. Yesterday we covered Render. We covered some of our other AI plays that I've slowed down a bit, but I'm still bullish on. And of course, if you want to know exactly how I'm personally trading on a daily basis, when I plan to take profits from the coin calls that I have in place, how I decide to take those profits, then that's the first link in the description. My complete portfolio, daily newsletter. You receive everything that this box right here entails for $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months. Completely up to you. I recommend trying it free for 7 days. That's why I have it here, because I'm so confident in the product that I provide, and I work very hard on it, and I'm proud of it. So I want you guys to check it out. Once again, that's the first link in the description if you're interested. Thank you if you do join, and if so, welcome to the winning team in advance. Let's close this one out by talking some price action. Let you guys know why I think it's very possible for coin to see $80 plus by, I'll just say conservatively, by the end of May, which, taking after hours price action into account, sitting just above $53 would be a 55% climb from here. But I will say that in the case that the April CPI data which is released on May 10th, comes in cool, like meaningfully cool, which I think is a pretty damn likely scenario, just all things considered. I do think that it's more likely than not that Coinbase will be sitting above $80 by the end of May. I'll just say that much, okay? So, short term, when it comes to the short term, I do expect this line of resistance, as you can see right here, to play a role. You know, it's resistance. I expect it to act as such. But we have earnings momentum. Bitcoin's looking good. Again, Apple will likely lead the greater equity markets higher. Good news for Coinbase and, of course, Riot Blockchain as well. I do think that we see some resistance around the $60 region. I do personally think, again, if the macro allows for it, that we break this line of resistance and ultimately achieve that $80 price target because that is a fairly conservative line of resistance on this overall descending channel. Pretty clean descending channel at that, okay? So, went into earnings directly above the line of support. Love to see that. Following a successful earnings report, it only makes sense to me that Coinbase starts to make its way up back to the top end of this descending channel, a slightly descending range, you could almost call it. So, Coinbase, I do think will be sitting at $80 by summertime. And, if that sounds crazy, and just remember, back in March, Coinbase went from, 52 bucks to $85, an appreciation of 67% in the span of 8.5 days. So we've seen it before. We've seen it this year. Following this amazing earnings report, it can absolutely happen again. So get excited, you guys. I'm super pumped for the trading sessions ahead of us. And again, I look forward to seeing you guys. Definitely our existing members. A lot of you are longtime members, and I love you guys. It's the Wave team. But again, if you guys want to join the family, if you guys want to join the team, then that's the first link in the description. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you downstairs in the comments. Until next time, round of applause for Coinbase. Take action. A little tangent. Fully just scuffed that. Round of applause for Coinbase one more time, you guys. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.